Hi, welcome to Part of Food Hero. I'm Aaron. Today we're going to be making bacon wrapped hot dogs. So on their own, they are delicious, but I also want to do a video of what to do with all the leftovers from all your barbecues, your 4th of July parties, your get-togethers, your luau's, whatever you're doing over the summer. There's always a bunch of leftovers. And yeah, you could just keep reheating it and having the same thing over and over again. But I'm going to give you some ideas on what we can do with some of those common leftovers you have from a barbecue and how we can make a bacon wrapped hot dog even more delicious. Let's go check it out. All right, so all you really need for a bacon wrapped hot dog is bacon and a hot dog, and obviously something to cook it with. But we're doing bacon wrapped hot dogs and then showing you what you can do with all your leftovers. So the most important part of a bacon wrapped hot dog is to wrap the hot dog in bacon. So you're gonna take your bacon and kind of stretch it as you are wrapping it. Now, some people will use a toothpick to secure the bacon, which isn't a bad idea, as I later come to find out. But I didn't use one and it still turned out fine. These are like the jumbo hot dogs that I had left over from a cookout that we had like a week ago. And so they didn't completely cover the hot dog as much as I would have liked when they're done cooking. But your standard size hot dog would be fine. I probably could have used two slices of bacon per hot dog. Come to find out at the end. So learn from my mistakes. So if you'd like to have it so it's just completely encased in bacon, you use 2 if you're using like a jumbo hot dog. Shout out to Canadian Castaholic up in Canada, another fellow YouTuber. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cast iron skillet or whatever you want to cook these in. With this cast iron skillet, I put just about maybe a tablespoon, maybe half a tablespoon of vegetable oil just to get it started. And what you're going to want to do is just cook the bacon on all sides until it's crisp and good to go. Probably would have been better if I had either 2 slices of bacon on each of these, or I use toothpicks because the bacon kind of slips off, but you can kind of manage to keep it where it's supposed to go. And then what I like to do as well is I will add in the onion and bell pepper, because that's some of the leftovers that I had. When I flip it the first time, that's when I add in those ingredients, those vegetables, to start cooking, because around that time it usually finishes around the same time if you do it like that. I don't know if that made sense. I'm really sorry. But even if it doesn't finish at the same time, you can always just take the vegetables out and set them aside. So not a deal breaker. All right, so I'm going to kind of show you how I was moving these around. And as you can see when I do it, you can see what I'm talking about with how the bacon kind of flops around like a silly goose. So I go to flip over this first one, fully expecting it to be just held together perfectly. It didn't. You can see it kind of flopping around. So if you make this yourself and it happens, not a big deal. I decided to kind of just twist the hot dog after figuring out that me trying to just wrap the hot dog back again wasn't going to work. So I just kind of twisted the hot dog until it kind of re-gripped with the bacon. And then some of the other ones did fine, like this one did all right. And then I started getting nervous that they're all gonna do that. So the other thing too is you just wanna make sure that it's cooked long enough on each side so that it kind of holds its shape, holds it formed. I probably flipped that first one a little too early, but you know, like I said, it all turned out delicious. So you're gonna do this until they are cooked all the way through, the hot dog and the bacon, because you don't want soggy bacon. That is disgusting. And of course, I didn't forget about the onions and the green bell pepper. Like I said, these are just all leftovers. All the leftover stuff that I had from the barbecue. I had some extra, obviously, bell peppers and onions. So you throw them in there. And the great thing about this, as you're cooking these all together, all these flavors infuse with each other. So you get a little bit of that bacon grease getting into those vegetables. The vegetables penetrate into the bacon, and it becomes just just magical. And so you're going to cook these to your liking. I like mine a little bit softer than maybe other people do. I don't like really crispy vegetables on my hot dog. So I cook them I cook them down pretty well. So that's how I do it. If you like them crunchier or crispier, whatever, then don't cook them as long. I removed the onions and the green bell pepper because they got to the consistency that I like. And this is me just fighting this hot dog. Like I said, maybe toothpicks are the way to go, but I really think it's just because there wasn't enough bacon because these hot dogs were so massive. But you gotta do what you gotta do, trying to get through those leftovers. It still turned out great. But like I said, if it's a regular size hot dog, you are fine with just one regular strip of bacon. These jumbo all beef hot dogs probably need 1.5, 2. So that's what they turned out like, but they still turned out great. It was this, don't get me wrong, this was still absolutely delicious. And let's get to a plating. So with my first bacon wrap hot dog, I went more of the kind of Sonoran hot dog style, not exactly, just inspired by. So I had some of my baked beans that are on another video that are absolutely delicious. I had a little extra of those, so I do a layer of the baked beans. I plop on the old bacon wrapped hot dog anytime now. There we go. Throw it on there. And then we're going to add on those deliciously cooked onions. I could have just put all those onions on there. I love onions, especially sauteed onions. Delicious. And then we're going to put on those sauteed green bell peppers. And this is going to get a little controversial because people are going to be like, ew, mayonnaise is gross on a hot dog. And I like mayonnaise on a hot dog, okay? I might be a weirdo, but I think it's delicious, especially when you're trying to do the Sonoran style, which they put mayonnaise on their hot dogs. So I do a little bit of mayonnaise, and then I do a little bit of mustard, I believe is next, and then a little bit of ketchup, which is probably going to throw people off as well. I didn't say this is a Chicago dog. This is a Sonoran dog, and this is how they do the Sonoran dogs. And like I said, not completely authentic Sonoran dog either. This is just kind of inspired by that. And again, I'm just trying to get rid of leftovers. So again, all right, so now I'm going to put on a little bit of that mostaza. Mustard in English. And after that, I believe I do a little bit of ketchup. A little ketchup. Let's get a little more sweetness on there. Then that thing is done. That's what we're going to do for our little Sonora dog. Now on to the next one, which is I had a bunch of kalua pork left over because I made a ridiculous amount. So what I did is I put down some of those delicious onions that we cooked in the cast iron with the bacon wrapped hot dog. And then we're going to put the hot dog right in there. Now we're going to grab the kalua pork, which there's a recipe on Party Food Hero how to make amazing kalua pork. And we're going to take that and just top it just like that. And then I had a bunch of leftover pineapple. What are you doing with leftover pineapple? You can only eat so much. So I kind of chopped this all down really well and then topped it. So I'm topping it with the nice crushed up pineapple that we had left over. And then we have this delicious teriyaki sauce that I pour on top. And I probably ate that piece because I was very hungry when I was making these. And there you go. You're going to have almost like a Hawaiian kalua dog. It's kind of a ode to the Kauai, what's it called? Piggies? Porkies in Kauai. Shout out. There's one in Lehi, Utah. Absolutely delicious. If you haven't been there, go there. Please sponsor the show with free food from your place. Now for my favorite part of the video. All right, now for my favorite part of the video, I get to eat the food. In fact, it's even more exciting because we have two different types of food or hot dogs. We have the kind of more traditional, almost like a Sonoran dog, or if anyone from California has ever been to like a concert or like a sporting event or anything like that, once you leave the venue, there will be a bunch of carts with people making bacon wrapped hot dogs, and they are absolutely amazing. What makes this closer to a Sonoran dog is because I know Sonoran dogs, they do a base of beans. And I had leftover delicious baked beans that I wanted to use, so that's why we threw them on there. And then obviously, as I talked about before, we have the kalua pork with the pineapple. You know, what are you doing with pineapple? What do you do? You know, you have so much pineapple left over. There's only so much pineapple you can eat. But if we put it with the kalua pork, hot dog, everything, then you have just a completely different experience as opposed to just eating more kalua pork, eating more pineapple. You get a bunch of different flavors. All right, I am so hungry. I literally have eaten nothing today, so I am so ready for this. I'm gonna start off with the hot dog with the onions and bell peppers and whatever. I don't care. I'm hungry. I'm just gonna eat it. Here we go. I'm excited. That is so good. Oh my God. So, first of all, what's great is I like hot dogs. And I always use all beef franks because they are delicious. They're way better than the other hot dogs that no one really knows what's in them. But, so you get a little bit of that. You get a little bit of the bacon, the hot dog, and then you get the back notes of the baked beans. You get a little sweet. Mine are a little spicy, so a little spicy. You get the coolness of the condiments that are on top, and then you have the sweetness of the onions and the bell pepper. A little bit of crunch there, not too much. A little bit of crunch for texture. That is a delicious hot dog. See, this is why leftovers are good. Just you can be excited about leftovers. You can be excited about all the different things you can make. All right, so now let's try this more of a Hawaiian style with your kalua pork, your pineapple, obviously there's bacon. I put a little bit of cheese in there this time, because I love cheese. Here we go. That just goes so well together. That is also very delicious. There's just so many things that are contrasting in here. You have obviously it's the same base. You have the bacon wrapped hot dog and the bun. But then it kind of goes differently. So you get the bacon wrapped hot dog part, and then you get the saltiness of that kalua pork as well, and smokiness. I'm just like salivating because it's so good. And then you get the coolness of the pineapple, and you have that teriyaki sauce that's on there. Probably don't need the cheese, couldn't even taste it. Also not the best type of cheese. It's leftovers. We're trying to get rid of the leftovers. So it was delicious though. That is really, really good. I'll be honest, if I'm gonna take a winner, if you're gonna make me, I would probably go with this one, mainly because it's a lot less messy than this one. Both are extremely delicious, and if you have leftover kalua pork or pulled pork, obviously that's what you're going to use. But if you have both of these types of leftovers, actually just make both. They're both really good, but I really liked the kind of the Sonoran style dog. I know it doesn't have tomatoes on it, and there's probably other stuff it's missing, but absolutely delicious. But there's some ideas you can use for all the leftovers from all of your everything, so your kids will think that you're making them something different as opposed to the same thing over and over and over again after the barbecue. Go make it, enjoy it, love it. Enjoy the nice weather. I realize it's really, really hot in certain places. One of the nice times about living in Idaho is this is great weather. Awesome. Okay, so let me know, and if you have other ideas of how to use leftovers, leave it down in the comments below. I'd be interested to know how other people would incorporate different types of leftovers that you would commonly find at a barbecue. So, delicious. I have nothing else to say. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Whoa! Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Go check us out at partyfoodhero.com for all the recipes, all the everything. We have a bunch of different recipes. Check them out. It's an easy to use website. You click on the recipe you want and magically it's the recipes right there. You don't have to scroll through everything trying to find recipes because, as I like to say, recipe websites are the worst. So I made mine purposely as easy and straightforward as possible. There you go. Enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the rest of these because I am still starving and I'm just drinking. I'm just salivating. And remember, be Party Food Hero. I am excited to finish this.
Be the Party Food Hero.
So good.